Good morning, Mike and Arlen. Our Philippine journey. You'll notice I'm not all excited because I'm not. COVID-19 is surging and it was just explosive in Thailand. Just came across my desk. So I thought I would make this. This is a serious issue to a certain extent. So this is 2025. This is current. This is not something that is left over from the last go around. So let's talk about it.
Why'd you have to go? I guess this world's too slow for you. I think there's beauty in the gray, the cold, but you just want the gold. And there's no way I can beat it, cause I got no chance, no chance when it comes to her. She got the glitter and the fame, and I just wasn't enough.
Okay. I don't even know where to begin with all of this. Um, we had known that COVID 19 is still around. There are variants that are out there. Um, we knew all of this. All of this has been going on, but what hasn't been going on to the best of our knowledge? And you know what? Maybe you can tell me in the comments in your local area, if you're not in Asia, not in the Philippines, well, even if you're in the Philippines, all right? But if you're not in China, you're not in Hong Kong, you're not in Singapore, and you're not in Thailand, have you seen much news about this? And if so, what have you seen? That being said, there has been very little coverage. In fact, I have seen almost nothing about this in the national US news, and I watch four different news outlets in the US. But this came across earlier, and it is not pretty. So let's take a look at this. COVID-19 surges in Thailand with 67,484 cases in 7 days. And we are going to continue reporting on this, or at least keeping you informed, because it can have serious impacts all the way across the board. What is going on? Well, the Department of Disease Control, the DDC, which is the Thailand equivalent of the CDC, reported that COVID-19 continues to spread heavily across Thailand, with 67,484 new cases and 8 fatalities in the past 7 days. That's May 18th through 24th. So, yeah, this is a little bit behind. All right. I haven't been able to get any better update on this, but this just came across. So the dominant strain of the Omicron JN1, with a cumulative total of 717,000 cases and 51 deaths this year since Sangran. Now, Sangran is their big water festival. 14 clusters have been identified, the department added. Now, we are going to continue to watch this. We're going to continue to try and find more up-to-date information. But I can tell you, I don't like it. I don't like it for a couple of reasons. Number one, those of you that watch the channel know that Arlen and I and my daughter have an upcoming out-of-country trip. Well, now we're going to be honest about it and tell you it's going to be a surprise. We're taking my daughter to Thailand. All right. She's scheduled to arrive very shortly. She will be in Thailand for like 9 days. All right. This is a problem. Can we get there? All right. Once we get there, if it gets more explosive, can we get out? Once we get out, can we get back to the Philippines? Once we get back to the Philippines, will she be able to get back to the U.S.? The Philippines has not been reporting any kind of an explosive surge. However, There's a YouTuber right here in Angeles City who recently put in a post that she was diagnosed with COVID-19 last week, if I'm not mistaken, or about 10 days ago, something like that. All of that being said, I don't know what happens here, and your thoughts are certainly something we're looking for. Now, I'm going to put a link in the um, uh, description below to this particular article, and we're going to continue to keep alerts up for COVID-19. But 67,000 cases in 1 week. That's a lot. What will happen? I mean, right now, we may not even be able to get to Thailand. If we can get to Thailand, we may not be able to do anything. Once we get to Thailand, can we get out? These are all big problems, but they are just simply what they are. They are saying that the variant is much less currently, is not as uh, bad as its original version, because mutations tend to mutate into a less powerful basis, I guess is the best word for it. That's their typical. Viruses tend to mutate into a less um, powerful, I guess. I'm tongue tied a little bit right now. Can't come up with the right words, but variant. So what happens? Well, I didn't tell you. Certainly, the Philippines cannot take another lockdown. That's for sure. Certainly, the Philippines does not want to see a restriction in tourism. That's for sure. And certainly, the Philippines has very, I will try to choose my words very selectively. The Philippines healthcare system would be extremely strained to handle any type of a minor, much less major pandemic. That's just the honest truth. Now, what are we going to do? I don't have a straight answer. I'm just being honest with you. I wish I had a straight answer. Are you watching this news? Are you getting this news? Is this the first time you've seen this news? Um, you know, it goes on to list the provinces in Thailand with the highest cases, and Bangkok and Chiang Mai, Phuket. Those are the leaders along with Rayong. Um, it lists the clusters. It really lists everything. Okay. Now, what happens economically across all of Asia? Now, they're saying the research that we did, I did some research for a couple hours this morning, and the research really and truly says India has not been hit hard, all right, or it's not reporting, but I don't know of any country that is currently doing any sort of mandatory random testing. All right. In other words, back when all of this broke loose in 2020, everybody was getting tested. It was mandatory. I don't see that happening right now. What's happening in the US? If you're in the US, are you seeing anything at all? That would be interesting to us because we're not seeing anything in the news in the US about it. Maybe we're just missing it. Maybe I'm done and I don't see it. I don't know. Is it something that I should be really worried about? Well, yeah, it is. We make no um, we make no mystery about the fact that I have some health problems. Okay, I don't believe I'm immunosuppressed in any way, shape, or form. We went through COVID, the initial COVID, without any problems. I don't know that I ever got it. I did get a little bit of a flu-like situation a couple of times, but it was very minor. So I didn't go test for it because I just, I was over it and 24 hours, 48 at the very most. Um, Same thing with Arlen. We never got anything that we felt was full fledged. But, this might be a whole new game. This might be a whole new thing. I don't know. But I want your opinions. What do you hear? What are you seeing in your local news? What are you seeing in your national news? That information is important. And all of the subscribers we have, I do believe they would all be interested in hearing from each and every person about it. Um, I just feel like it is. I mean, you guys, our subscribers, our viewers, they tend to be very smart, well read, and reasonable individuals. Um, you know, with that being said, the information that we pass around is important. And I know there's a lot of false information out there. I know there's a lot of wrong information out there. I know that there's a lot of bullshit information out there. But until we start to track some of it down, I don't know. But this is not bullshit. This comes directly from the DDC. Okay? So, with that being said, a couple of things. First off, please do subscribe, hit that thumbs up. We'd certainly appreciate it. Secondly, if you have any knowledge, if you have anything to share that you can point us into a direction. Now, you cannot send links to our channel. Our channel does not accept links. But if you give me a title, I can Google it and it will appear. Please let me know. Please let us know. That's what's really important. Otherwise, we really want you to have a great day, a safe day, and a happy day. Take care. Be good.